Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Ramonatira Vanachari Ramonatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kundra Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are going to read Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10, Chapter 17, starting with text 4 up to text 9. So we will chant together Shloka 9. Vishavirya madhavishta kadraveyastu kalyaha kadarti kritya garudam swayam tambubuje balim. Although all the other serpents were dutifully making offerings to Garuda, one serpent, the arrogant Kaliya, son of Kadru, would eat all these offerings before Garuda could claim them. Thus Kaliya directly defied the carrier of Lord Vishnu. Text 5. Tachutva kupito rajan bhagavan bhagavat priyaha vijam surmaha vega kalyam samupadravat. O king, the greatly powerful Garuda, who is very dear to the Supreme Lord, became angry when he heard of this. Desiring to kill Kaliya, he rushed toward the serpent with tremendous speed. Purport. Srila Sanatana Goswami explains that the word Mahavega indicates that the great speed of Garuda cannot be checked by anyone. Text 6. Tama patantam tarasa vishayodaha pratyabhyayat uthita naikamastakaha dadvi suparnam vyadashattat ayudaha karalajikvot svasito gralochanaha. As Garuda swiftly fell upon him, Kaliya, who had the weapon of poison, raised his numerous heads to counterattack. Showing his ferocious tongues and expanding his horrible eyes, Kaliya then beat Garuda with the weapons of his fangs. Purport. The Acharyas explain that Kaliya used his weapon of poison at a distance by spitting venom upon his enemy at short range by biting him with his terrible fangs. Text 7. Tam tarksha putra sanirasya manyuman prachanda vega madhusudana pakshena savyena hiranya rochisha jagana kadrusutamugra vikramaha. Translation. The angry son of Tarksha moved with overwhelming speed in repelling Kaliya's attack. That terribly powerful carrier of Lord Madhusudana struck the son of Kadu with his left wing, which shone like gold. Text 8. Suparna pakshabhi hataha kaliyotiva vikpalaha kradam vivesha kalindyas tadagamyam durasadam. Translation. Beaten by Garuda's wing, Kaliya was extremely distraught, and thus he took shelter of a lake adjoining the river Yamuna. Garuda could not enter this lake. Indeed, he could not even approach it. Tatraikada jalacharam Garuda bhaksham ipsitam nivaritah sabharina prasahyak sudito harat. In that very lake, Garuda had once desired to eat a fish being after all his normal food. Although forbidden by the sage Saubhari, who was meditating there within the water, Garuda took courage and, feeling hungry, seized the fish. So we can repeat word for word now and then chant together. Tatra, there in the lake. Ekada, once. Jalacharam, an aquatic creature. Garudaha, Garuda. Bhaksham, his proper food. Ipsitam, desired. Nivaritoha, forbidden. Saubharina, by Saubhari Muni. Prasahya, taking courage. Shuditaha, feeling hunger. Aharat, he took. Tatraikada jalacharam Garuda bhakshamipsitam nivaritah subharina prasahyak sudito harat. Tatraikada jalacharam Garuda Bhakshamipsitam Nivarita Saubharina Prasakyak Sudito Harat Tatraikada Jwalacharam Garuda Bhakshamipsitam Nivarita Saubharina Garuda Bhakshamipsitam Nivarita Saubharina Prasakyak Sudito Harat Tatraikada Jwalacharam Garuda Bhakshamipsitam Mothers, please. Garuda Bhakshamipsitam Nivarita Saubharina Prasakyak Sudito Harat Bhakshamipsitam Nivarita Saubharina Prasakyak Sudito Harat Tatraikada Jwalacharam Garuda Bhakshamipsitam Nivarita Saubharina Prasakyak Sudito Harat. Translation purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder, Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. In that very lake, Garuda had once desired to eat a fish being, after all, his normal food. Although forbidden by the sage Saubari, who was meditating there within the water, Garuda took courage and, feeling hungry, seized the fish. Purport. Shukadeva Goswami is now explaining why Garuda could not approach the lake in the Yamuna river. It is the nature of birds to eat fish, and thus, by the arrangement of the Lord, the great bird Garuda does not commit any offense by nourishing himself with fish. On the other hand, Saubari Muni's forbidding a much greater personality to eat his normal food did constitute an offense. According to Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura, Saubari committed two offenses. First, he dared to give an order to a supremely exalted soul like Garuda, and second, he obstructed Garuda from satisfying his desire. Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamniti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamniti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharina Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Desha Tarina Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tatraikadajalaccharam Garuda Bhakshamipsitam Nivaritakso Bharina Prasahyak Sudito Harat. In that very lake, Garuda had once desired to eat a fish being after all his normal food. Although forbidden by the sage Sobari, who was meditating there, within the water, Garuda took courage and, feeling hungry, seized the fish. Some devotees like to eat fish. Not that we can now start eating fish. If anyone had for a moment such a thought, then abandon that. We can't do that. We can't eat fish. Even if great devotees like Garuda do, we don't do that. We don't imitate, we follow. Everyone has prescribed duties in a certain position, and one should not cross the boundaries or limitations within one is supposed to act. That's too much. Feedback is coming. This will not work, I think. So yeah, we have a few characters here taking part, and a few things can be said. Something about poison, envy, expert speaking. One should be expert in something, so to speak about it. So today we can speak about poison and envy. The Kaliya was able to take shelter in Yamuna river because of Sobari Muni's, we could say, friendly attachment. Due to his meditation that he performed for quite some time, he was little attached and friendly to surrounding environment, fish again, and so he didn't want Garuda to, take away his friends from him. It is actually said that the Garuda, when he took that fish, it was one of the best ones, the leader fish. So especially unfortunate for Shaubari Muni. So he cursed Garuda that he couldn't come near there, or else he would die, yes? If he comes? Yes, so he couldn't approach the place. Garuda, being a humble devotee means humble by nature. Everything has its nature and purpose. So devotee's nature is that of humility. That's one of the aspects of devotee. They are very humble, always, and very friendly as well. Devotees are friendly. They are friends of all living entities. So he accepted the curse, didn't try to retaliate or anything. But that, we could say, backfired a little bit, because it created a Garuda-free zone which Kaliya could enter in fear, because we know that Kaliya was in sort of conflict with Garuda. Because? Why? What was the conflict? He would steal the offerings. Yes. We have description of, Prabhupada, he used the word envy in his vocabulary a lot, but there are two, we could say, dimensions of envy, yes? When you think of envy, it can be a casual thing, which means desiring what others have and you lack, yes? So when someone has something we don't have, that's the very nature also of things. People become envious if they see someone has more of anything. It could be good quality, it could be some possessions or something, then envy comes in the heart, manifests, and And because of that, sometimes action also. Guru Maharaj, he mentioned in one class that in India, it's not me speaking, Guru Maharaj said that, I'm repeating, that over the land people can kill each other, yes, over some piece of land, that envy can be so strong, and that spirit of possessiveness so intense, and that envy, that it brings you to the point of killing the other person, taking away somebody's life, which I think is one of the worst things you can do to somebody, yes, take his life away. But that envy can be so strong that people are able to do that. They are able to kill others for the sake of possession. They want to have something so much. So that envy or jealousy also is it's a very common thing. We experience that in our daily lives. Hopefully we will stop experiencing this one day. I can speak for myself, not for all the exalted devotees, but from my position. So this is one sort of envy, which is typical, casual, but then there's also envy, which Srila Prabhupada often used, that word that one should be non-envious, one should not have envy in a deeper sense, where envy is more like hatred. Yes, Prabhupada said that devotees shouldn't be envious even of an ant. So in that sense, it's not much about the possessions of ants. Yes, it's not about not being jealous of what ants have, because they don't have much. Yes, but it's about nature of the spirit of a devotee, the bhava, the nature, the mood of a devotee is that of non-envy, which means the devotee is always considerate, always conscious of Krishna, present within everything, also within the ant. He knows that killing every entity, any entity, is very painful for that entity. That's why Srila Prabhupada also said that in farming one is forbidden to use pesticides, knowing, Srila Prabhupada explained that the sadhu never wants to kill any living entities, knowing how hard it is to experience death, how painful it is to be killed. So even ant, we may think something insignificant, and so we can sprinkle some powder, let them all die. That's not necessarily the best solution. Not the most Vaishnava way of thinking. There was a situation in which once devotees, there were some ants crawling in the room in which Prabhupada was, and devotees were trying with some small brush, to brush them and take them out without killing them. And Srila Prabhupada looked at this with a smile. He commented that previously you would have killed them, yes, but now, you're respectful. So Prabhupada was very satisfied with that gentleness of a devotee, that considerate spirit that he was, thinking that these are living entities, I cannot harm them. So even one should be non-envious towards little ants, or to speak of other entities, or to speak of other people, and especially devotees. So that was the mistake of Shabara Muni, that he didn't control himself. He felt compassion towards the fish, and that's of course nice. we should be compassionate towards everyone, all living entities. I recently was on the road and there was a little puppy on the road, and I felt so much because he wanted to come with me. He was in the middle of the road, so I stopped, and then he was immediately taking shelter. When I was driving away, he was running after me, and I felt like, yeah, you naturally feel some compassion to take care of it, But, there are the aspects of doggy life that we don't want to mix necessarily. But anyway, it's a natural thing that we may feel some compassion, but we should also understand what the real compassion is. We have great opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness, which is as Prabhupada's compassion. Srila Prabhupada came and out of compassion spread the message of the Lord, so that the pain of material existence can be addressed in a way which is ultimate, absolute. Because we can't stop the pain by, giving temporary solution, which we may do, of course, in a situation when someone needs some help. We may do that, but we should understand this is not the purpose of our life. Sometimes people take this as the goal in life, to help others, but the help is on the level of material compassion, on the level of material consideration, on the level of basically of body, trying to help the body but not trying to help the soul. But one who acts with knowledge understands that helping the body doesn't help the soul, because the soul is not the body, so it doesn't help, it doesn't solve the problems of life. Everything ultimately boils down to definition, to understanding things as they are. That's why this Sambandha Jnana is very important, the understanding of what things are, what is this world, what are we, what is the body, what's the difference. Recently, a few days ago, I don't know if our audience is aware of that, but Pope left body, a few days ago. So everyone is now, at least in the Western Hemisphere, and I have some students who I teach, so everyone is talking about Pope now, and we had some discussions, and it was good because we could discuss some spiritual topics. But the Pope was a very controversial figure for the Church itself, because he was very progressive, as some would say. Others would call him devious and deviant, because he was proposing solutions which were unheard of, like, for example, same-sex marriage, which means man with man getting married, or woman with a woman. So I don't know if he managed to approve it already or not, but started the process. So he was a progressive figure. And so that discussion, that student asked me, so yeah, I like it, it's wonderful. Why is it wonderful? I asked, No, because we should understand that God is loving God. So I like that this Pope was also understanding this, because if a gay person declares, yes, I am a gay, does it mean that the Lord doesn't love him? That was a tricky question, yes? No, he loves everyone, right? But even Jesus Christ, he said, hate the sin, not the sinner. So yes, love is there, but it doesn't mean that action is also approved, yes, or the condition in which you are. I saw a rabbi. Rabbis are like kind of priests or brahmanas within the Judaism. So they are the teachers. So once one was asked about this homosexuality, he also got a tricky question, yes? Is homosexuality natural? And now if you say it's natural, then what? Then it's approved, yes? Because it's natural, it's good. But the rabbi, he said, yes, it's natural, like any other disease. So, natural diseases are natural, but you don't want to stay in the diseased condition. So then he followed up that, there is no approval for that in Torah. And again, we don't hate people who have that condition, but we help them to come out of that condition. So all-loving God, He loves everyone, but He doesn't love everyone's action or everyone's situation in which one, like if one becomes poisonous like snake, like Kaliya. Is that all right to be envious? Huh? God loves everyone. Yeah, but He doesn't love the envy. Yes, He doesn't love the envy. So Kaliya, he was so poisonous, so much filled with poison that he was emanating that poison. He was able to contaminate Yamuna River, even, you could say totally spiritual environment, yes, but it became poisoned by this. There is description that even bird flying over Yamuna River would drop dead. So you can imagine how toxic it must have been. We have those factories that create some toxic chemicals, but even these are, I think, not as toxic as to kill the birds flying over. Maybe they do die also there, I don't know, but but we can understand that must have been so toxic. So Kaliya, he was emanating that poison. His body was like poison itself, yes, very poisonous. So he was able to contaminate. And we see other examples of poison entering, like for example, Kaikeyi. She loved Ram very much, yes? I think there's description that she loved him even more than Bharat, yes? She was so intensely in love with Ram, which is not surprising, Ram being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everyone is in love with him, but she was. So that means she was totally, rightly situated in devotion to Lord. Yet by accepting the poison from Mantara, coming in form of words through the ear to the heart, she also became filled and contaminated with that poison and acted in a way which was not the best, not in the interest of Lord Ram. She went against Lord Ram. So this is what can happen. The poison can enter our hearts, and it has entered our hearts, yes? We are all born in that situation, yes? Ichcha, dvesha, samudana, we are all born in illusion and hatred, which is envy. We are born in envy, covered by envy. And as long as we have it, it's expressed mostly towards living entities, but by that we understand we express that envy towards the Lord. We are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which in our daily activities is represented by other living entities. In our daily experience we express it towards others, that envy of the Lord. So we are born in that envy, and it's there, that poison is there in the heart. We should not let more poison come, but we should also understand that we have it. I mean, devotees who've been practicing, probably they don't have, but I still have some. But the thing is that although this poison within the heart is present, and although we may feel very unfit, yes, when we hear the descriptions of devotees acting so purely, when we have so many descriptions, we have Srila Prabhupada and his life, completely pure, expression of love and devotion, always acting for the benefit of others, and then We may sometimes doubt whether we can act on that level, or can we achieve that level, because we could act on the level. One can, knowing what should be done, one can start doing the right thing, but still the heart may not be completely free from envy, and it may be discouraging. But we should understand that our progress in spiritual life does not depend solely on our effort. Some effort needs to be there on our part, but it's by the mercy of the Lord that we can become purified. It's by the mercy of the Lord and the process in our surrender to Him. The Lord may grace us. So, of course, the energy of the Lord is very difficult to overcome, as we heard yesterday. Durga makes it very difficult. This is her mission and her service, to make it difficult for us. Not only spiritually, but in every way. Life is difficult, yes, everyone agrees, no one has doubts. Some people want to make it easy. I saw recently, I got interested because I just saw the headline, it popped, on the screen. Yes, and the title was that by year 2032, we will be able to live forever. We'll become eternal. There's a scientist who claims that it's going to be possible. So that thing has not died, yes, that we want to be eternal. Hiranyakashipu wanted this, yes, and the modern science has been promising. But now there's one person, I was actually surprised, he's been working on AI, on artificial intelligence. That's his main contribution in the world of science. I was surprised how many years he's been working on this. Because it's quite a recent thing. Our experience with AI is quite recent, yes? But he's been working for 61 years on artificial intelligence. That's where they started thinking already. He was not the first one, but he's the one that still is alive and has been doing this the longest, 61 years, working on AI. And he claims that he predicted many things. He says that 80% of my predictions came true, which one is today's explosion of AI and the ability of AI, the possibilities that we got from this. He actually predicted that those kind of things, like this present AI thing, would be possible by the year 2029, and he said it somewhere in the 90s. So he was right about this. Now he has an idea that we will be able to live forever by inserting nanobots into our body. Yes, nanobots. They will be so small. Nano means very small, yes? Nano is smaller than micro, I think, yes? Is it like that? So they will be so small, they will be able to enter humans' blood cells. And they will be connected to the cloud, which means, internet is connected, the whole cloud. You can access now with ChatGPT everything that's there, yes? All knowledge, whatever, you can type it, you can translate languages, everything is just, just like this, available. So he says the next step is to have that accessibility from within our own bodies. So they will insert those nanobots, and they will connect. So you will be able to access the way you can access things now through the phone. You can access everything from within. And so if there's any issue in the body, those nanobots will go and they fix it. If there's some clog, blood or something, they will be resolving all the issues, because they will have access to all knowledge. They will know how to do it, everything. So we'll be eternal. We'll be able to live forever. We'll stop the aging process, yes? Disease. I don't know, that he sounds, obviously he must be intelligent, materially speaking person. but that he didn't think about the fact that, mechanisms, they fail sometimes, yes? Things crash, yeah? It's like it didn't occur to him, I think, because he didn't mention that, what if something stops working, as it always does, yes? You can't defy the laws of nature. They are trying, you see that poison, they want to create, like in the Bible, there's also description of the Tower of Babel. I will not speak the whole story because I don't even exactly remember it, but the point was that people wanted to create a perfect situation, but without God. Kingdom of God, without God. That means kingdom in which we are God, yes? And that's what, if you look at this modern science, that's what they want to do. They want to remove all the barriers that are imposed on us. The main one is time, yes? Time is the greatest barrier. You cannot conquer the time. The time goes, you cannot bring it back. Any second lost will never be given back. And at some point you have to also die. Time comes for you to go. Sir, it's the time to go. No, yes, yeah, you have to go. You can't say no to death. So everyone, Srila Prabhupada, he said that this is the ultimate representation of God, yes, that comes to everyone. Even those who are the greatest, defiers of God, the atheists, they have to finally offer full dandavat. They pay the last dandavat, but it's dandavat. You will not be able to stand up again. Yes, you have to just offer the dandavat, and that's it. God comes. And he says that also himself, that he calls me, I'm the time and the destroyer of the worlds, yes, because time is actually very destructive. We can see that everything is just, the bodies being destroyed by the time, the steel rust, everything is destroyed by time. Time is a very powerful aspect, and that's why it is a great. Actually, meditation on time as God. We can become a little humble if we understand the influence of time and our inability to define the time. So yeah, the scientists, that's also some type of poison, we could say, that enters nowadays through technology and media. They are able to enter the minds of people and contaminate them with this idea of defying the laws of nature, which means defying God. If you can defy laws of nature, you have defied God. Yes, you become like God. Now I decide how long I want to live, or no, that I don't want to die. Okay, I'll decide that, and I'll fix the imperfections of nature. Yes, I think nature is not perfect because it offers us those problems, but that's the perfection of nature, because this is the design of nature. Nature has been designed in that way to provide trouble, so that we can understand that we actually don't belong in here, and that we are not God. Yes, that there are problems in this reality. We should understand that this world is a place of difficulty and problems. So we should understand, and we should. Understanding this, we should try to solve that problem, but not only for ourselves, but also for others. That's the driving force of this Krishna consciousness movement. Sometimes people don't like that we are going around with the books and, almost like pushing them down the throats of people. They think we are just, imposing ourselves on them, but we should understand the spirit behind it. This is, Prabhupada wanted people to be saved, and he said, even if they touch that book, yes, that's beneficial. If they read one sentence. A few days ago, someone said some small video how one devotee, his name later was Ravanari Prabhu, he was from Palestine. He read Back to Godhead magazine. He was somewhere in some cafe, whatever, he saw the magazine, someone gave him, maybe I don't remember how he got to have it, but he just read one article. He went to the temple straight away and said, I want to join. It was in Germany, and there were some Muslim attacks at that time, some bombing happened, whatever, so they were a little suspicious. They said, maybe you can practice at home. He understood. That was Bhakti Charuswami, he was describing that story. So he said he was intelligent, he understood why they didn't want him immediately to join the temple. But so what he did, that was in Frankfurt, so what he did, he went to the barber, shaved up, he got the clothes, he dressed himself, put on the went to Berlin temple, and he said, I was sent here from Frankfurt to join. So they accepted him, and he later translated Bhagavad Gita into Arabic language. That was so just by reading, some article in Back to Godhead, how potent that message was from Bhakti Charuswami, how potent Prabhupada's words are, that you can read one sentence, one article or something, and your life just changes completely, you give up everything. So that's our hope, that even if there is some envy, we are not beyond the pale, which means we are not in a situation from which we cannot be accepted. And Kaliya is the best example, because ultimately he was graced by the lotus feet of the Lord. Yes, the touch of the lotus feet of the Lord. And in spite of the fact that there was so much envy and poison, what saved him ultimately was the dancing Lord. Friedrich Nietzsche? He was a philosopher that Nazi Germany built their Nazi narrative based on his philosophies of they call it Übermensch, means like superhuman, the better race, the white Aryan, better than others. So he said that I would believe in God if he danced. So if you recognize Nietzsche in some new body somewhere, you can give him Bhagavad Gita of the dancing Lord. Yeah, it's quite interesting that he had this idea that, if God danced, I would accept such a depiction of God. So yeah, the dancing Lord, the dance of the Lord is very merciful. We sometimes say that also, that you chant Hare Krishna, that means the Lord dances on your tongue. So the power of Krishna is such. We mentioned the power of Maya, the power of Durga. She makes it very difficult materially, but also spiritually. We have challenges in our spiritual life. We may have so many difficulties. We may have so many challenges and problems. And, becoming Krishna conscious may seem to be a daunting task, not very easy, not very... Yeah, sometimes we may lose even hope, yes, but Kaliya, he became purified by the touch of the lotus feet of the Lord. So we can also become completely purified of whatever poison may have been there or is there, or whatever. We can be completely purified by the chanting of this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Mahamantra. By chanting Mahamantra, we can become completely purified of all envy. Of course, we should also understand. We really need philosophy, and we need to understand things as they are, so that we don't think that if God is all loving, He loves everything I do. He may love you, but He may not love what you're doing. So we need to, act within the framework. Everything has purpose. Yes, we mentioned this. I forgot to conclude that thought, but yeah, everything has its purpose. It's dharma. Dharma sometimes is described as duties, but it's also described as nature of things. Everything has its nature. Sugar is sweet, and the purpose of sugar is to make things sweet. That's why, for example, that gay proposal is not acceptable, not because there's hatred towards these people, but because it goes against the nature because there's a purpose of sexual union, which is to produce children. There's a semen that comes, and its purpose is to produce child, and you cannot do it. Man with man, they cannot do it. It's just not. It defies the purpose of things. It's just not natural. Nothing against anyone, but it's not going to work. Yes, life is not for pleasure, and sexual union is not for pleasure. If it was, there wouldn't be any other purpose. But there's a very specific thing, yes, attached to it. So we should understand. So that precise understanding of things. What is religion, if not spiritual? Then what is religion? Well, you could have scientific so-called religion, yes, because religion, sometimes people think religion means faith. So actually everyone has faith in something, yes. Everyone has, they have faith in the Big Bang theory. In the beginning there was nothing and then it exploded. All right, that's interesting. There was nothing and it exploded, and from that chaotic explosion, because usually explosion means chaos, perfect order comes. Without any designer, without any, architect, we have that well-built world in which everything functions perfectly. Like scientists, they say if the sun moved very small distance from its orbit or whatever, they say, it would freeze the planet or Earth, or it would burn it if it was the other way around. So such precision is needed, and you think it's just because of some explosion millions of years ago? That's a belief, but a stupid one, yes, very childish. Just logically, it makes much more sense to accept that there is a creator who designed everything perfectly because he's perfect. So his design is perfect. Yes, it's just common sense. Just common sense. You don't need actually faith. It's just common sense. When you think about creation, it just doesn't. But they have that faith. So anyway, people think that it's about faith, but no, it's not about faith. It's about knowing things. Actually, that's why Krishna consciousness is a science of. But it's not against religion, it is religion, because religion, religare, means to reconnect. We want to reconnect ourselves. Being disconnected from the source, being disconnected from the Supreme Lord, we want to reconnect. That's religion. Religion is about reconnecting yourself. It's about certain process, which we have to understand. Why should I reconnect? Who am I? What's the purpose of life? Why do I have to die? There are questions. I was talking yesterday to one of the students. He said, I'm 42 years old and I'm asking you questions and I don't know answers. He commented, he had this little aha moment, that I'm 42 and I don't have anyone to talk about such things, and now I can ask you those questions, and it's interesting that I don't know the answers, because that's the thing. They go to school, yes? They learn things, but they don't learn what life is about. They don't learn what is the purpose of life. Modern education doesn't offer real knowledge. It just helps you to understand how to make money, how to go from door to door and back for job. Prabhupada said, you will get your diploma so that you can go and you can back. Recently, one of my students got new job. She was chosen from among 600 candidates to that position. She was lucky, yeah. But you can think, so many people. Out of 600, only one can get that job, yes, and the 600 will go to another company and beg again and beg again. That's what happens to you with modern education. You get your diploma so that you can go and beg for job, so that you can get money. And with that money you can forget everything, yes? What is life about? You'll never know. People think it's about working and getting money and then enjoying your senses, in this or some other way, whatever way. But the pleasure is the goal. No, it's not the goal. So we have to understand things as they are. This is very important. So for Krishna conscious practitioners, it's also very important that they understand how to practice, because we say we should chant Hare Krishna, but with the right understanding. There are other people who chant Hare Krishna and we don't want to chant with them because the concept they have while chanting is not what we want to be part of, yes? That we can become one with God or something like that, yes? Mayavadis, they chant Hare Krishna. Sahajiyas, they chant Hare Krishna, and all those things happen. They are all there. So we want to clearly understand, and with the right understanding, practice Krishna consciousness, chant Hare Krishna, Mahamantra, and act in a way which is precisely in line with the understanding, with the sambandha, with knowing things as they are. Only when you know exactly things as they are, you can act the way you should act. You know, it's like if you buy some tool, you know, let's say a drill, and you want to brush your teeth with it, you'll have problem, yes? You know, you should know that drill is not for brushing the teeth. It's not going to work. You need to know how to use it, you know, and why to use it, what's the purpose. These things are important, so we should know in the same way how to act in our life, because only knowing the purpose, knowing exactly the purpose of things, of everything, ourselves, of this creation, of things around us, then we can act appropriately, and then we can actually reach the goal of life. The goal of life is? What's the goal of life? To serve Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead, and we want to please Krishna, yes? We want to please Krishna. So Krishna loves everyone, but we should know what to do to please him, yes? Make him happy. Not that you do whatever you want and you expect his mercy in spite of everything that you have done so far, you know, against his design, against his plan. God has plan for everything. We should know that plan and act within it. So we should chant Hare Krishna. That chanting will remove the poison from our hearts sooner or later. Better late than never. So even if it hasn't happened yet, continue chanting. Better late than never. It will happen. We should have that faith. Because if we don't have that faith, that means we don't have faith in Krishna, actually. If you don't have that faith that Krishna will remove, that chanting will remove that poison from your heart, that means you don't have faith in Krishna. It's healthy to doubt ourselves, but we shouldn't doubt the power of the Lord, yes, and the power of His holy name. We should have that faith that Krishna can do that. And if we have that faith, then we can try to submit ourselves in all humility. Then it will be possible. Otherwise, it's not possible. We can't do it ourselves. That's beyond our reach. We cannot do it ourselves. So I'll stop here. It's time to stop. I don't know if there's any question or comment. Yes, that's why we need mercy of devotees, we need association of devotees. Everything that is given to us is to help us. Because, as I mentioned before, it's not easy, yes? We are in this material world. Durga is there to make it difficult. But just understanding this helps, yes? So that's why we need to have spiritual understanding. We should discuss philosophy. We should understand that even if it's difficult, our emotional response. Yeah, that's one thing. Is like the way we respond. We should not respond emotionally to things, but through higher understanding, Because emotions, they may be there. We can't help it sometimes. Yes, something happens and you have doubts or you feel depressed or something. But we should understand the philosophy. That's part of it. It's part of the program. Krishna says that, this mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishasi, that all the difficulties of material life, if you become Krishna conscious of me, you'll be able to cross them. So he doesn't say there will be no difficulties, but by being Krishna conscious, you'll be able to overcome them. Which is very nice, actually. This verse I like very much, because we do experience so many difficulties, and sometimes it's like, yeah, okay, enough, enough is enough, yes? But now we should understand that there's no other way, there's no other option, there's no better alternative. If there is, please come, tell me about it, I'm interested, but there will be no better proposal, I think, so... Yeah, so difficulties will be there, and they also have that purpose to make it difficult for us. So the more difficult it is, the more we should surrender to Krishna and take shelter of Krishna. Yes? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And we should not offend the devotees. Very difficult. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I wanted to mention this point. In the process, it's very easy to offend the devotees, and this will make it very difficult, yes, to make progress. So...